Thornbridge Manor, the Carlyle family's home for countless generations. The Revenant Alexa Carlyle and her 3 adult children, younger brother Zachary, grandson and daughter-in-law, are all gathered to conduct Carlyle's sham funeral. Curiously, Carlyle summoned a famous London PI soon after arriving this morning, but his purpose at Thornbridge is yet unclear. Now, the target knows that you're coming, and her guard detail is top-notch. So Mr. Gray will secure their nearby field HQ and intercept all calls going in and out of the estate. Any appeal for backup is going to fall on very deaf ears. Good luck, gentlemen.
This is a private area, sir.
Phineas HITMAN, private investigator. I have an appointment with Madame Carlyle.
Please wait. Mr. Whitmer, Madam Carlyle.
Damn. Dispatch, I just heard something fishy.
Gentleman, he gave me his coat and all.
Rosie, you need to forget about Patrick.
Taking a note of very suspicious behavior.
Did all the groceries arrive? I heard some of the delivery people were unhappy with the security at the gate. But all that is safe with Ethel. She never misses a step. Gossiping at work, oh.
Rosie thinks she's in love with young Patrick. I mean, that's a breaking heart happening if I ever saw one.
Life can be tough sometimes.
And that's detectives aren't comfort. Madam Carlyle must be
That is Phineas Whitmer, the famous private investigator hired by Madame Carlyle this morning. I'm curious why he's here. Maybe you should do some detecting yourself, 47. A famous
I need a cup of tea, like, right now.
Patrick's dead body and was all shook up. I tried to tell Emma, and do you know what she said?
If you'll follow me this way. Priming, you say? That sounds interesting.
It's like planting seeds that will grow into telling actions or words.
I see. Do you wish to plant any such seeds? Before I leave into it.
I already have. And fruit they bear. You are bold, not easily faced, self-controlled and always a step ahead. All qualities a murderer would benefit from. Wouldn't you say?
I wouldn't know, I'm afraid. If that is all, sir, please do come and find me when you feel ready to inspect the crime scene.
Just one question. Is that burned leather I can smell on you? Unusual for a butler to burn leather.
I don't know what you...
Seeds, Mr. Fernsby. Seeds.
Listen all day. He pours emotion into that instrument.
Quite the poet. But you're right. It's beautiful. Anybody there?
Gregory, don't say more to that visiting. Bad news, I'm afraid. We don't have any extra fuses. Ethel looks
That
better.
would mean... Nah, too early to conclude.
Oh, Madam Carlyle will be furious.
So, Madame Carlyle wants a picture taken. If you were to assist with the missing fuse, I'm...
She expects the family photo to be done any moment now.
I need this shoot to happen, okay? And I need it to be perfect.
You strike me as independent and self-sufficient. Taking a break where the family might see
You
you.
can do that.
Good.
Perhaps you're
I'll finish
also
setting up.
perceptive.
Grab the fuse just
Tell me the
before you
first
call
odd
down
thing
the family.
that comes to mind when you think of the last 24 hours.
Let me think.
First thing, don't think.
Okay. Well, I'm sure I left 20 quid in my locker, but when I came in this morning, it was only a $5.
No, not perceptive at all. Muddy prints from high heels. Expensive. Size 6.
If you're dressed like a Detective 47, you might as well act the detective. I suggest you go talk to the butler.
Mr. Fernsby, I'm ready to see the crime scene.
Very well, Mr. Whitman. If you'll follow me, sir.
Hi there.
I feel obliged to point out that current affairs surrounding Madame Carlyle are of a delicate nature. You may be familiar with the recent announcement of her death. You will probably learn that a staged funeral is scheduled to take place tomorrow. Madame's children were not informed until this morning that their mother was in fact not dead at all. So please bear with them if they seem affected by the rather unusual situation. I trust I do not need to remind you that there will be consequences if word gets out that Madame Carlyle is still alive.
I'll consider her dead when I leave.
Before you inspect the crime scene, I will tell you this. The case concerns the death of Mr. Zachary, Madame Carlyle's younger brother. He was found dead in his bed this morning. The door was locked from the inside, and a suicide letter was found in his room. However, Madame Carlyle suspects foul play and will not accept that he took his own life. I've prepared some information for you, so please do come and see me when you've finished your investigation of the crime scene. This is Mr. Zachary's room, to my right.
A locked room murder mystery, 47. I trust you'll get to the bottom of this.
A hidden door.
It's a secret passage. This could explain how the door was locked from the inside. A photocopy of the floor plans. Somebody's been researching the secret ins and outs of Thornbridge Manor. You've likely not exhausted the room for clues, 47. Zachary was shopping for new Wellingtons last night. Not exactly what you would expect from someone suicidal. Zachary's suicide note. Also, a sample of handwriting. It could be relevant to compare to other samples to establish its authenticity. Why don't you use your camera to scan the dead body, 47?
Throat markings indicate a rare, short-lived plant poison killed him. Spread shows time of death at around 10 o'clock last night.
You do know your poisons, 47. I believe you've done a thorough search of the crime scene, 47. Maybe it's time to see the butler. I'm curious about the information he's prepared for you.
Sir?
Mr. Fernsby, I'm done with the crime scene.
Did you establish a time of death?
Zachary died around 10 o'clock last night.
That means the staff were off duty.
Maybe that's where
And Madame Carlyle and her security didn't arrive until this morning.
couldn't find at the graveyard.
That leaves Madame's family and myself as the only persons here when he died. And before you ask, no, I do not have an alibi. I was alone in my office at the time of death. Here's the material that I prepared for you. It's a list of the possible suspects and their quarters. Hopefully that will help you keep track of your findings. Please come and see me when you've solved the case, and I will take you to Madame Carlyle.
So how does one solve a murder mystery, 47? Motive, means, and opportunity, I believe. May I suggest you ask the suspects for alibis? Or perhaps do you prefer searching the manor for clues first?
Hello, sir.
Fitzpatrick token to Madame Carlyle's daughter.
Rebecca? Yes. She's insistent, that one. She kept asking all kinds of questions. Who had the other one? Why I gave it to her, that sort of thing. You did make sure she didn't see you give the other one to the butler?
Oh, of course.
You look tanned. I bet Mother spent the last week at her Cyprus estate. Am I right?
I'm not at liberty to say, ma'am.
Oh, come on. I need to know what's going on. This affects me too, you know.
Rebecca Carlyle, can you tell me about yesterday evening?
We don't really see much of each other, my brothers and I. I suppose it takes our mother's funeral to bring us together, and even then, it's not like we sit on each other's laps. Now, let's see. Patrick, Gregory's son, disappeared straight after dinner. You know, I think he might be in some sort of trouble. Edward wanted to go as well, but Gregory convinced him to stay for a few drinks before they went off for a pint at the local at 9:15. I swear Gregory enjoys Edward's discomfort over staying here. I had a conference call with my New York office at 9, so I spent 3 hours on my laptop in my room and went straight to bed afterwards. I don't know about Emma. She did act a bit strange. You know, I bet she was making lists for changes needing to be done once she gets her hands on Thornbridge Manor. Quite the shock she had when Mother arrived during breakfast. Is there anything else you want to ask me?
Tell me about Zachary. Did he act strange last night?
You know, now you mention it, he was a lot more chatty than usual. He wanted to know about my connections in the publishing business. Apparently, a friend of his is writing a book, which strikes me as very peculiar. I didn't think he had any friends. Is that everything, Mr. Whitmer? I do have a lot to see to.
Anything else you feel like mentioning?
I may be wrong, but I saw Mr. Fernsby, the butler, leave Zachary's room early this afternoon. And he seemed a bit startled when he saw me in the hallway. It's probably nothing. Oh, and one more thing. Please be kind to Edward. He can only take so much. Is there anything else you want to ask me?
That is the door to Mr. Fernsby's office. Zachary's diary. This is big. He was about to confess to the world that he and Alexa murdered their older brother Montgomery 46 years ago. And apparently, Mr. Fernsby helped make the murder look like an accident. And 47, The handwriting doesn't match the suicide letter in his room, proving he didn't write it himself.
Found dead upstairs today.
Mr.
Rosie,
Fernsby
tell me
clearly
what you did
didn't
last
commit the
night.
murder.
I'm in trouble, aren't
But I think you have enough evidence to convince Madame Carlyle
spent the
he
evening
did.
with Patrick. We met after dinner and I went home at 1 in the morning. He said he needed someone real to talk to. When he looks
You're
at
giving
you, it
me
makes
a
you
bit of
feel like
anxiety,
the center of
sir.
the universe. Like a real princess.
But now he just ignores her.
Well, he's under a lot of pressure.
He's an idiot. That's what he is.
Looking good today, sir.
With a handsome face like that, I bet you've worked with a lot. Sorry, but I think I... Right.
That door leads to Emma and Gregory's room. Now this is interesting, 47. A letter from Emma's mother stating that Emma is the illegitimate child of Alexa's late older brother, Montgomery. And listen to this. She claims to have witnessed Alexa and Zachary murder him. The plot thickens. A keychain pendant for the greenhouse. What's that doing in Emma and Gregory's room, I wonder? And why is the key missing? That is the door to Rebecca's room.
I don't believe for a second that Zachary committed suicide. We'd only just run through his plan for the spring seedlings yesterday.
Yes, sure. But he was upset. It's real, like I can't...
I'd say worried about how things would be handled with Gregory and Emma taking over. I said they let him stay.
Broken lab equipment. It looks like it was recently used, though.
Price, I'm very aware of your feelings about Dylan Stack, both his music and his personal life. But I'm curious to hear what your feelings are about this leaked tour rider that's been circulating online.
It just reminds me of something my mother used to tell me. She'd say that money can be the walls of your house, but it can never be the foundation. The foundation will always be your reputation. You can only get so far with one or the other. You need both to build something that stands.
Well, I can't say you don't have a point.
You just can't accept anything at face value anymore. Everyone's got money, and if it looks like they don't, then they probably have to.
We've got Price and Chamberlain with us in the studio today. Nice.
Hello, Sam.
Maybe I should ask her out. Get to know her in a personal way.
You could try. Rosie told me Rebecca has a really cool saying, though. It takes a damn fine man.
Once again, I'm here with Price Chamberlain. Where do you weigh in on this one, Price?
2 words, Gemma. French Revolution.
Gregory Carlyle, can you tell me where you were yesterday evening?
Oh, you're wondering about my alibi, Mr. Detective. Well, I left Thornbridge around 8:30 for a pint with Edward. I wish I hadn't. Quiz night at the inn. On the other hand, staying here with Zachary, my obnoxious sister, and the wife sporting another one of her headaches would have been a fate worse than death. The short of it, Zachary was very much alive when we left. I stayed for the last shout, and I was back here just before midnight. Is that all?
Tell me about Zachary.
Zach? Huh. Such a sad old sod. A bit heavy on the bottle, but who could blame him? Only company he had was his rare plants and mother, who travels more than she stays here. Honestly, I can't say which is the bigger bore. He's better off dead. Anything else you want to
Anything else you'd like to tell me?
Nothing, really. I'm just enjoying the show. Our perfect mother obviously fucked up, didn't she? Faking her own death. You know, she's explained nothing to us. I think she's scared to own up to her own mistake.
Talking just Rebecca.
I can see from the log that Rebecca was in a conference call from 9 p.m. to midnight last night.
Get a listing of asset transfers from the Carlisle account HTC depot number 5085. Yes, I'm still here. It doesn't exist. What do you mean it doesn't exist?
Well?
Well?
Well, what did you find? You'd better well have a damn good reason for not being here in person. Christ! You really don't have a clue, do you? I'm talking about that weasel, Arthur Edwards. Can we get back what he stole from me?
So far, it looks like we can't. All the transfers of funds and privileges I've been through have been bulletproof. He intercepted the arrangements our office worked years to put in place.
That's why Don Yates should be here. He made the arrangements. He should bloody well be the one to clean up this whole mess.
I don't know what to say. I'm sorry.
Don't kill the messenger, Alexa. Please, continue your efforts, Mr. Ford.
An old letter, 47. Never opened. Must have slid under the secret door nearly 46 years ago. It states that Alexa Carlyle's older brother, Montgomery, wanted Alexa to become the heir to the Carlyle Empire instead of himself. Interesting. You're an excellent detective, 47. Uncovering truths half a century old. If you frame it correctly, I believe you could use the information to convince Madame Carlyle that Zachary committed suicide. Maybe you should ask Mr. Fernsby to see her. Or perhaps you feel like digging a bit more.
I'm ready to present my conclusion to Madame Carlyle.
Very well. If you'll follow me, sir.
Yeah, hey, bro.
This is Madame Carlyle's office. Please step inside.
Your detective skills have gained you access to the Lion's Den, 47. Now, go claim your reward.
So, Mr. Whitmer, you've reached a conclusion. Take a seat. Please, go ahead.
Your brother committed suicide.
I need to see some evidence to believe that, Mr. Whitmer.
Zachary was found dead in a room locked from the inside. He died from a rare poisonous plant he cultivated himself. He believed you were dead, and a suicide note explained that he did not have the courage to go on without you.
That's what I don't buy. I cared for him deeply, but the truth is he hated my guts. My death would not make him commit suicide, I can promise you that.
Perhaps the death of your older brother, Montgomery, then. I have found evidence showing that you and Zachary killed him nearly 50 years ago. I believe that was when Zachary turned recluse. Your brother recently uncovered proof that your past deeds were for nothing. A letter from Montgomery stating that he wanted you, Madame Carlyle, to take over from your father instead of himself, as you were better suited to the job. Everything would have turned out the way you wanted, without anyone dying. What broke Zachary once, now destroyed him.
And you saw this letter?
I did.
Oh, Zachary. How royally I fucked up. Mr. Whitmer, I'm sorry, I just need to gather my thoughts. Right. The payment for your services, have you decided on an amount?
Arthur Edwards. You have a file on him.
Arthur Edwards. How do you... I see. Well played. For many, many years, I feared what I'd see when I finally met death. And now you sit before me, and I feel only peace. You see, I believe life is a fair fight, and I lost spectacularly in every way imaginable. It is time for me to leave the pit. Oh, before I get to that, your reward. The file you want is in the safe. A last wish from a dying woman.
How are you, sir?
Good work, 47. That's the file on Arthur Edwards secured.
A last wish
Time to
from
take
a
care of
dying
Madame
woman.
Carlyle.
Get Edwards and make him suffer. So long. I need some privacy. Thank you.
Mission complete. Well done, 47.
They're everywhere. Go, get out! It's the Constantine! Shit!